whatever you're doing right now, stop and watch this video. It's urgent. I was teaching on the west side of Chicago today, and ICE was in the area right next to the school. From what we can gather, because this just happened 10 minutes ago, a few workers were deported and arrested by ICE. One of them was my student's father, and we went into lockdown because so many of my students have parents or grandparents that are from other countries and that immigrated here, and they're scared their families can get deported. Or consequently, my other students are terrified because they have brown skin that they can't go outside because ICE can fucking detain them. And these are 13 to 15-year-old kids. They took one of my students' fathers. She has not heard from her dad in hours. Her mom called her freaking out. They have no idea where he is. He disappeared, and yet he was kidnapped on stolen fucking land. This is not white people's land. This is stolen land. This is the land of indigenous people. How are you going to kidnap brown people on indigenous land? We are living in a very horrible world right now, and people need to wake up.
The No Kings protest was similar to Bernie Sanders' Fight the Oligarchy tour in that it is a purposeful misdirection of the class-conscious struggle we are engaging in, and is part of this active whitewashing of radical understanding. That's why so many of you felt like it was performative, because it was. This is why y'all were out there protesting with so many people trying to take America back, as if this country has ever had a time in its entire existence where it wasn't like this. This is why y'all were protesting with people with goofy and insensitive signs that said things like, if Kamala had won, we'd be at brunch. Because the violence itself isn't the issue to these people. It's that the violence isn't being done in a liberal aesthetic. Democrat or Republican, ICE is still abducting people. Democrat or Republican, police are still shooting people. Democrat or Republican, America is still pushing war on the world. Democrat or Republican, your ass is still broke. The only difference is that the people in office wouldn't be as flashy about it. Our issues are bigger than a king or an oligarchy. Our issues are bigger than Trump. And anybody who tries to mystify this truth is playing you. They are ironically trying to individualize the systemic issues we have, because the violence didn't start with Trump, and it won't end with him either.
If you didn't know, there will be another No Kings protest on October 18th, and that's going to be state motherfucking wide. Send this to your friends and family so they motherfucking know exactly where to go and how to show up, specifically if you're in San Francisco, baby. Now, state to state, I don't know the times, and I don't know the places, and I don't know the meetup spots. So you're going to have to Google and research and find on TikTok depending on what state you live in. I live in California and specifically in San Francisco. So our No Kings protest will be off of Embarcadero at 2 p.m. Again, this is Saturday, October 18th at 2 p.m. on the Embarcadero Plaza. That is where everybody is meeting up. Bring your flags, bring your shirts, bring your dogs, bring your kids, bring everybody who you motherfucking know. I don't care if you got to call out and get a write-up to be outside to protest for your people, your rights against this motherfucking straight. If you missed the first No Kings protest, you better be out there on this No Kings protest, baby, because you got a lot of groundwork to make up for. Again, depending on your state and depending on your city, it might be a different time and it might be in a completely different place. So make sure you do the research so you can show up and do your part.
We gave them the power because we didn't vote. For the last 30 or 40 years, we kept giving the power to the presidency, the Patriot Act. Go back to that. Too many of my brothers are dead, names on a wall. My father, my uncles died to keep these fascist motherfuckers out of America. And we, by not being involved, throw the motherfuckers into the back door. You've got to tell your friends, your parents, and I know they're out there because I get close to my family. And I ask them straight out, are you okay with this? And they are silent. The Republican Party is part of the problem. It's all those people who want security that does not really exist. It's a constant battle for your freedom, and they're gonna take it away from you. By signing a stroke of a pen, you gotta get angry. Hell yeah! Peacefully. That's not an option. Just fuck that motherfucker.
We have now reached the point where every single line in the Declaration of Independence is completely and directly connected to what President Kankles is doing today. Forgive the Old English, but I'm going to read it in its entirety. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having indirect object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. 1. He has refused his assent to laws. 2. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance. 3. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, which is literally happening right now in Arizona. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither. He has obstructed the administration of justice. He has made judges dependent on his will alone. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent swarms of officers to harass our people. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for cutting off our trade from other parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving many of us the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretend offenses, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for all in any case whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out on his protection and waging war against us. He is, at this time, transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death. He has excited domestic insurrections against us. There are a couple others that I skipped, but all of those speak to President Kankles right now.
The President of the United States is a danger to this country, full stop. And I think what we saw over the weekend with the No Kings protests is a mobilization, but to some extent, a recognition that that is the case. And I think you're starting to see some of this reflected in the polling. Even people in the Republican Party were afraid to show up at his birthday parade, the dictator Kim Jong-un birthday parade that he tried to have over the weekend, where you saw the video of the tank going by the empty stands and you heard the squeaking of the tracks of the tank, and it was sort of like, what is this? And so, you know, I think the other thing is, you know, folks have to have hope. You have to have hope that we're going to get through this. You know, if hundreds of thousands of billions of people had shown up and cheered on Trump as those tanks were rolling down Constitution Avenue, then maybe I'd be a little bit more worried today. But what I saw over the weekend was the millions upon millions of people who are opposed to what he's trying to do to American society showing up in almost every town and community in this country. That was a very powerful thing.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as usual, I'm chilling in the park and my name is Anthony, never changed. One thing that we can agree is that Donald Trump is a danger to essential federal agencies. You can see what he's trying to do to Fed Chair Jerome Powell, an independent institution. Trump is a danger to the systems that has made us the leaders of the free world for centuries. So social media is trying to censor the word "no kings." So in the comment section, let's use the purple revolution.
It's become glaringly apparent that the Trump regime would like nothing more than to fire on its own citizens. We've got messages from Stephen Miller, just itching for a fight, looking for any excuse to start a civil war in our country. On October 18th, we're having another No Kings protest, and we are going to give them no excuse to say that we were violent in the least. These are not only going to be peaceful protests, these are going to be joyful protests.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to drape ourselves in the American flag and show how patriotic we actually are.
So go to nokings.org to find a protest happening near you. They're all over the country, all over, even Alaska and Hawaii. So join in, be joyful, be peaceful. And if you see an agitator out there, that's not us. Get away from that person. Trump is going to use any excuse to say that we were the ones who started anything that goes down. So don't give it to him.
A big part of the Purple Revolution is to make community with these people that we want to work with on both sides, because it is very hard to trust each other if you don't feel like friends, if you don't feel like they're going to show up when you need them, or that they're not someone that you can call if you need help. See, even on the left, like, we all say we want to do things, but I feel like we don't really trust each other because we don't know if someone will actually show up. Like, we all talk big on here, but we don't really know each other outside of here, right? So part of Purple Revolution is you have to start meeting each other. Like, you need to start having Purple Revolution parties, right? Or meet and greets or hangouts, whatever you want to call them, so that you can see the person face to face, so that you can get the feeling of each other, because our government and the elite have done a very good job of having us just get to know each other behind a screen. And that's not really knowing somebody. That's not really feeling grounded in their presence. And we have to have that to be able to build on. We need that foundation to build other actions upon that. So that is the biggest thing, because people are like, what about policy? If you try and make policy right now, it's going to turn into a fight, because we don't know each other. Like, we're like rah-rah on here, but our feelings are still very high. Our emotions are still really big, especially when we see all the crazy stuff going on right now. And would you rather sit down at a table after you've gotten to know these people as people versus the worst version of that side that are promoted on here? Because when the right thinks of us, they think of these radical lefties that are out to hurt people and want to give everyone surgeries and just really crazy stuff, communist and all that. That isn't almost any of us. And on the right, you think of just people on ice, right, that are doing those things, that are January 6ers and stuff. Most of them are not. They don't want that either. But when you try and create policy and that's what's stuck in your head, you're going to get really triggered very easily. Also, there's things to learn from each side, because we both have dealt with each other through propaganda for the most part. So if you could sit down and actually talk to them and get to know them first, then you can have a very different conversation after, maybe they learn, oh, that wasn't fake, or, oh, I thought that was made up, or, oh, well, this is what we heard, right? You have to kind of sort out the propaganda and what the elite have wanted us to hear. So that's the point, this is to get rid of the middlemen, to get rid of all the marionettes, and like, it's just us. Okay. And one of the first places we can do that in mass is the No Kings protest on October 18th. So show up in purple, bring a purple flag, like, bring whatever you need to identify yourself that way. One, it keeps people safer, because if we do get any crazies in there, that's not red or blue, it's purple. So it looks safer, it feels safer. Invite everyone you know. I don't care how they voted, because there's something they can stand for. They can stand for getting Israel out of our politics. They can stand for free speech. Again, there's lots of things that both sides can stand for together. But communicate with the people around you. Find out who lives near you so that you can start doing these meetups. Maybe put the town or the city that you're from, so that you can start collectively meeting up, right? And then maybe get signal chat on your phones, and then you can start being able to communicate that way if you don't feel like you want to do it over regular text, or meet up at home so that you're not on any kind of stuff on here, on social media or the phones. You know, in person is always going to be best. So all of that is very important. And showing up to No King's Day is about the most important rally you can ever show up to. Because with everything going on, and as crazy as Trump and Stephen the Cuck Miller and Pete Kegsbreath are acting right now, and all the crazy videos and everything going on, they think they've intimidated us into staying home. That is their goal. That is why they fled the zone. That is why they are sending out the military and making the snowmen go out door to door and harassing people, is because they are weak and they have to look very strong, and they want to try and intimidate people into staying home and staying glued onto here and listen to all the divisive rhetoric. That is their goal. And so when I hear people say, well, I go, but I have this, or I go, but I can't because I have this, all those reasons that you think you can't go are the reasons you need to go. Well, I can't go because I have children. Your children are the reason that you need to go. Well, I can't go because I'm disabled. Your disability is why you need to go. And if you have to ask for help to get there, or wheelchairs or whatever it is, my mom's going and she will be in a wheelchair, and she may only be there for a half hour, but she's going, because this is the message we have to send to the administration, that no matter what you do, what you say, or how your snowmen go around and act, we will continue to show up. And right now we're still playing nice, right? Because next time we could show up with things that we have been given, we have a right to. So this is our big moment to connect, to see how many of us there are. Remember last time how much better everyone felt? Because you're not behind a screen. There is power in unity, and that is what the whole purpose of the Purple Revolution is we have power in numbers. And the more we show up, the more we connect, the more we'll be protected, the more we'll feel connected, the safer we'll be, the more we'll trust each other, and we will build a wall. Not a wall to keep people out from the country, but a wall that the elite and the administration cannot get over and cannot get through. There is no weapon to defend against unity.
Let's talk about the anti-blackness that exists within the Latin American community. When I went to go talk to them, they said that we don't like African Americans because they feel that we owe them something.
Well, contrary to their belief, we love y'all, and black people don't feel like you owe us anything, except common decency and the same respect we give to the Hispanic and Asian community. We know how you talk about us. Why you with that black guy? Your kids are gonna be dark. Don't let that beg in my house. We see the hate, but we don't share that same hate for you. Hell, we don't even hate white people. We just don't fuck with racists. If you ask most black people what they want, they'll just say equality and to be left alone. But even when we're minding our own business, we start our own banks, we get our own neighborhoods, we build our own cities, the good old boys come and burn it down. This was Tulsa, this was Rosewood, this was Wilmington. They did it in Chicago. We had to make special books just to drive through our own country. So where can we go for peace? Gone over to Africa. They came to Africa, scooped us up, and brought us here. The large influx of Asians arrived here in the 1800s, Hispanics early 1900s, Polish 1870, Irish 1845, German 1820s, the rest of the world 1800s. Black people been here centuries before any of these groups. And we've been on the front lines of every single war, fighting for a country where every other group hates us. Many Asians and Hispanics move through this country unbothered because they think, because their skin is closer to white, that they have the same privilege and can treat black people the same way white people do. And this is why 40% of the Asian vote and half of the Hispanic vote went to the orange man. But the Hispanic community, you're learning very quickly, and they'll invade Chinatown and Koreatown and Little Japan next. And then you'll see why you perpetuate your anti-blackness, that they hate you just as much as us. As an enabled body adult, it is your choice to have a lack of education to keep you in this ignorance of this all blacks are bad mindset. If you're taught that Malcolm X was just the writer and MLK was just the pastor and slavery wasn't that bad, how could you truly understand the black experience? And now they're banning black education from our schools. Does this not scream 1933? When Black Lives Matter happened back in 2020, there were thousands of people jumping on social media talking about, oh my God, how come no one ever told me about Emmett Till? How come no one ever told me about the Tuskegee Airmen or Henrietta Lacks? That's just American history to us. Once you take the time to learn about the impact that black people had on this country and the world as a whole, your viewpoint on black people will be totally different. If the media constantly told the world that the entire Hispanic experience was this photo, or the entire white experience was school shooters and serial killers, that would be fucked up, right? Well, that's how they've been doing black people for decades. That's not our history. But we're forced to learn about white history, which is mostly wars and seasoned land and racism. Shit, we're about to go to war right now. You can't even become a citizen without learning their history, which is why everybody knows about the Boston Tea Party, the Battle on Bunker Hill, and can sing the Star-Spangled Banner, which ironically is also about war. The rockets' red glare and the bombs are bursting in the air. And can't forget racism. No refuge can save the harrowing and slave from the terror of flight and gloom of the grave. Like, damn, they even killed us in the anthem and then gaslight us and call us unpatriotic if we don't want to sing it. So yes, we would love the respect of white folks who've been treating us like shit for over 400 years. We would love respect from all other people of color who wasn't dragged here but came here as immigrants at their own free will. Because when you, my fellow Asians, Hispanics, Middle Easterns, Africans, Pacific Islanders, Caribbeans, when you arrived to this cookout, your plate was already made. Black people already fought for your civil rights. We already fought for fair housing. We already fought for freedom. We fought through Jim Crow and being able to sit at the same damn restaurant as white people. We endured the acid being poured in public pools, the lynchings, the burnings, the drownings. The reason you could get a job or health care or an education. Black people fought for it. We didn't start HBCUs because we wanted black universities. They were started because we couldn't get into white universities. And we don't complain when many of your people sit on the sidelines comfortable and quiet. But it is fucked up when you say, why they always protesting and boycotting? All the while, these boycotts are benefiting you too. And now you're realizing it when we sit down and shut the fuck up. It ain't easy when you have to go boots to the ground, is it? Facing a sea of racist cops and ICE officials with shields and guns just itching to use them. Being thrown to the ground and watching your loved ones get round up like animals. It ain't easy seeing your people unjustly thrown in detention centers and your family torn apart. Snatching up babysitters and farmers with no due process. And you lucky it ain't the 60s because they had dogs, ropes, and fire hydrants for us. It ain't easy feeling helpless because the country you love, the country that your people helped build and bled for, hates you. Coming home as a decorated veteran and you have to eat outside or they spit in your food. It ain't easy knowing that you're excluded from the all. When America screams with liberty and justice for all. Well, this has always been the black experience. Always. And that's why when black people see Asians or Hispanics or white people speaking up against the inequalities in America, we always support your views. It's got to be very difficult to step away from a long lineage of hate, knowing that your people, your family, your friends will call you a traitor simply because you fuck with black people. Well, you tell your hating ass family that this country was built on immigrants. So why the fuck are they here?
So thank you all for reaching the end of this video, and as usual, let me make my analysis. It will be brutal, it will be ruthless, and it will be to the point. So now, what I really would like us to focus on is the system. That's what we are protesting. And the system has propped Trump as their head. Now, hear me on this. The corporates, the billionaires who Trump is giving massive tax cuts are the ones who are eating our country away, eating away our American dream. Trump is part of it. Vance is part of it. Now, we are not going for either of them. We are going for the system. Both right and left, we are uniting. So, the issue is, we are being, every 4 years or every 2 years, hoodwinked. that our voice matters. It does. During the elections, we have the major say on the ballots. But after the ballots, these guys unite at the hill, at the capital, where they meet lobbyists, where they meet billionaires, and now where they meet IPAC. Our interests are at bay. No one even thinks about us anymore. For 2 years, for 4 years, all they do is billionaires bidding. All they do is lobbyist interest. What about us? So in the Purple Revolution, the right and the left are uniting to fight against fascism and economic despair, which is affecting our country. No oligarchs in a democratic system. We can't allow that. We can't tolerate that. There is even a lot of people in the right who have a disdain for the elites and want issues such as free healthcare and a better immigration system being addressed in our country. I think if we play our cards right, there is a chance of getting a majority from the right to take action and stand against these oligarchs which are eating our country, because these are issues which are affecting everyone across the political divide. Unite. U-N-I-T-E. Universal healthcare, no money in politics, immigration reform, tax the rich, election integrity. In June 14th, when Trump called himself the king, there were massive protests, both in our country and worldwide. No kings protest, no kings. 5 million Americans in 2,100 sites across the country united on a common goal. No kings in America. So if we change the tone a bit to address the economic strains affecting our country, which is affecting everyone across the divide, we will really have a massive movement against this government, because the billionaires, the rich, the elite expect our obedience so that they can continue destroying the American dream, and no more inch we are giving to them. So I'm focus, and until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.